so much for that wonderful introduction. I'll be presenting two cases. Actually, they're very simple cases because Chitra ma'am told me it's like a learning video. So, but I'm just going to point out a few steps in each along the way, which will help the young budding surgeons. The first case is a patient where I'm doing a fuchs endothelial dystrophy, where I'm doing a combined DSEC with PHECO. Before planning surgery, I think what's important is to keep in mind the biometry that aim a little bit of myopia for these kind of patients. Now, during surgery, what we are really going to be worried about, as you can see, the view is going to be compromised. In this patient, it's relatively better, but in a lot of other cases, you're going to be having a very compromised view because of the corneal edema. Use tripeptide because not only does it stain the capsule, but it's also going to stain your endothelium, which will help with removing the descendants later. Removing epithelium, I think at this step is really helpful. It aids in your view. What you can do is you can aim for a small capsular excess because that will help to place your IOL in the bag later, and it's not, you'll not have the IOL popping out later when you're injecting air, because I don't really like to use myotics in my surgery. Another important tip here, I just want to stop here that throughout the case, the only viscoelastic that we should be using is a cohesive viscoelastic. No dispersive to be used at any point during the surgery at all, because even if a small amount remains behind, it can interfere with your disc attachment. Always make a corneal incision. Now, phaco surgery in this case, because the view is compromised, you're going to be worried about the PC vent, which can happen and it's a disaster. So after the initial split, I know most of the phaco is actually done in the anterior chamber. I'm not really trying to be go at all near the bag. You can get the pieces out and do it in the anterior chamber. Here, wanted to point out that epineutrals removal in most cases you would be doing with a phaco tip, but I feel this is an important point, for beginners, that you can try and just do it with your IA tips. Even though it will take longer, you can get the epineutrals out, eat it close to the endothelium, does not matter, because dealing with a rent in this case is just going to prolong your procedure, and also it interferes with your disc attachment. Sorry, this is some editing glitch. What you now need to do, you can do this initially at any point to make an 8 mm marking. Now, how you will determine the marking, whether it's 8 mm, usually you're going to be around 2 mm lesser than the corneal diameter. You place the IOL in the bag. Make sure that it's absolutely in the bag. You do not want any of the haptics popping out. At this point, as you can see, I have again reinforced the chamber with a high viscosity viscoelastic here, because you're doing a combined case. If you're doing only DSEC, you can do the entire procedure under saline, but with cataract, I don't, I think it's really, I think it's going to be a lot more difficult. So I prefer to use a high viscosity viscoelastic. Now with the reverse Sinski, you're going to go and strip the descemet. It's very easy in a case of fuchs, but sometimes in some patients with long-standing PBK, you may really struggle. At that point, you can use a Vanna scissors or any other, instrument to help with removal. You can strip this descemet and make sure you take it out and, check that all the pieces have been removed. This is a very important step, that you need to remove the viscoelastic thoroughly. I have seen patients where, this step has not been done, and you see viscoelastic in between the disc and between the host cornea. Now, because this is just for beginners, the insertion, as we know, can be done with various techniques. Here, I'm just showing the very simple technique, because Deucen's glide, which I now use, requires a lot of ambidextrous, to be ambidextrous. So this is a very simple technique where you just place the, cornea onto the patient's eye and you slip it in with a bent 30 gauge needle. It's really easy. And the important tip here is that before you're injecting saline, injecting air, anything, please make sure that you are taking sutures, because even if you have a very small incision, I've suffered the hard way where it was just a 3.2 mm incision, and I've injected saline, and the entire corneal disc just comes rushing out. It's a complete disaster. Here you can see I'm injecting a little bit of saline because it just helps to float the cornea, the disc out. And now another tip I'd like to give is that the air injection initially is only through the main wound, so that you insert the cannula, go below the disc and inject the air, because oftentimes, sometimes if the view is not very good, you may end up injecting air into the in the interface, and you may not even realize it till you see the patient next day, or once you've removed the air, and then you realize that it just unnecessarily adds to the steps and compromises the endothelium. you can now go ahead with a 30 gauge needle on either with a side port, you can just make a fresh entry and then inject the remaining egg. So I'll move on to the second case. My second case is a patient of, it's a regraft. Just an important point here that typically if you're doing a triple surgery where we are doing a penetrating full thickness graft with a cataract surgery, we try and do an open sky surgery. The problem with that is that you can oftentimes, it's very difficult to make a rhexis. It's very difficult, and sometimes you may have the entire nucleus and a PC rent which is just coming out because of the surgery being open sky. So what we can do is that, though this is not a very easy technique, but still what you can do is you can remove most of the corneal tissue so that your view gets improved. And even in cases with DSEC, in fact, in the next step that I'm going to come to, can do the entire cataract surgery under a retro illumination. Shut off the microscope light, use an endo illuminator, and do the rest of the cataract surgery. And you can just do it in the anterior chamber, because anyways you're going to sacrifice this entire distance. The reason to do this is because I personally feel it's really difficult to do an open sky cataract surgery. In a lot of cases, you can have the entire capsule rupturing. So once you've done this, you can go ahead and put your IOL. Just want to speed that up. Yeah. Once that's done, you can go ahead and then excise the remaining corneal button and go ahead with suturing the rest of your graft. That's the end of surgery.